Hey friends, it's Mika from Yes Please Planning. Today I'm going to be setting up this gorgeous B6 size traveler's notebook from the December 2017 Planner Society kit. I'm going to be using the supplies that came with the kit as well as some little bits and bobs from my collection. So let's get started. The inserts that I'm using, I'm taking from my B6 DIY. I believe I did an A6 DIY video. I'll link that down below so you can see how this traveler's notebook was made. So I have a weekly, and my weekly is just for memory keeping layouts. One for just note keeping, a health and wellness tracker, which I actually designed myself for my own needs, and then this B6 size I will be using for lettering and doodling. I got this from Michael's. So the first thing that I'm going to do is cover all 4 of these with dashboards. Now I don't have a clear idea of where I'm going. I tend to just map out a couple of ideas and then change them all as I go on. I do know that I right now am in the mood for lighter colors, and so I will be pulling out the white and light pink and then just mostly accenting with the darker navy blues. I'm just putting the edge up against cover here, and I did do a video showing how I made some, like if you don't have notebooks, I have a video showing how I made some notebooks from scratch using different papers and other notebooks. I'll link that down below. So I'm just holding it down, slowly pressing. And I'm pressing down pretty firmly here so that I can crease the cover. And then kind of burnishing the edge here so I'll see where to cut. And then you can just trim it, right? But I think, let me see. I can glue this on, but I actually like this cover, so some removable tape would work here, or just use a paper clip to clip it on. This is a bone folder. Mine is really old, but you can find them at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, etc. But it just helps you fold stuff easier. So I've got my paper trimmed. I only trimmed just the longer side, and then this side I'm going to just fold it in for now. I may decide to trim it. I may decide to add something, some more paper to it, or I don't know, but I'm going to leave that like that for now. And then I'm going to just cut my other papers the same size as this. Alright, I decided to give my paper trimmer a try. This is a trim and score board by We Are Memory Keepers, and so the way that it works is it's like a transformer. Like it's got all these handy dandy moving parts, and so it folds in half so you can store it easily. Then you can lock it into place like that. It's called a trim and score board because you can cut the paper like regular trimmers, but you can also make this like crease in it. So I guess this helps just hold the paper. I'm not really sure what that's about. So this is why I just use my hands as tools, because you get all these fancy dancy pieces of equipment, and then you're still just like, what? How does that work? I guess I'm supposed to measure. See, that's the problem. Ain't nobody got time for measuring. I guess you're supposed to put, I'm not even sure. Is this supposed to hold it down? Look, if you want to check it out, it's called We Are Memory Keepers Trimming Scoreboard. And it's got instructions, which I should probably read. It looks pretty nifty and handy. I just haven't taken the time to really learn it. The tool that it comes with is a little bit more, you see that's more ergonomic. So I don't know, I'll find that at some point. But in the meantime, this bone folder thingy works pretty well. And then you just slide it there into the groove. And that just helps you get a nice crisp line to fold it. That's the main, like, the meat of it. You could just leave it just like that if you wanted to and string them into your traveler's notebook. But now I'm going to start doing the more fun, creative part. I decided to have my first insert be this pink bow pattern. So the Christmas digital download pack from the Planner Society or Christy Tomlinson's Etsy shop came with a bunch of background papers. So there's a black bow one. It's like this, and I took it into Photoshop and just overlaid a pink and printed it in pink. And this is Epson Premium Matte, Ultra Premium Matte paper. Now here's what I'm thinking. I love this pretty pink pattern, and if I cover it with too much stuff, for example, this, I'm not using this, but here's an example. If I cover it with something large, then I can't see the pattern. So I'm choosing something smaller. I'm going to go with one of the inspiration cards from the kit. And I think as a first one, this Girl You Totally Got This would be good. Tidy Desk, Tidy Mind, that's never me. Today is a perfect day, that's good, but this pink is just too bright for what I want right now. This is the beginning of anything you want. I like that one too, but this one, thank you, Christy, it already has die cuts on it, so I'm going to go with this one. Now, there isn't enough contrast around this to make this focal point really stand out, so I'm going to use some different papers, like, you know, things like that to kind of pop this out and draw your eye into it. So what I think I'm going to do is I may use just some scraps like this. It being a darker color is a good contrast between you can see it like that, between the background and the card. So I may do that, or I may just cut a larger piece for the background. I really do like the flowers, but I'm in love with this this globe. Isn't it so beautiful? Problem is it's a bit small. Let me take, I'm not like a die cut everywhere kind of person. That takes attention away too much. So I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna work. I mean, I could just cover it up with something larger, but I want to use it again. So yes, it's working. So there's just some kind of sticky adhesive back there, and I just used that to pry it off. I went really slowly so that I didn't bend it, so now I could reuse this. So I want to use this globe, right? But it's too small. And if that were my only option, I would still use this and put something around it in a way to make it stand out more as a focal point. But instead, This kit came with a set of, or a notepad, a globe notepad, and this is gorgeous. So what I did was I took a couple of them, of the sheets, and put some cardstock, glued some cardstock to the back of them, and cut around just to give it more, make it a die cut basically, to make it more firm. So I'm going to use one of these, and so you can see. So just look at it like this. If you see something like this, you know, it's like it's an afterthought when it's smaller like this. But if you have it like this, it really, now it's really standing out. The only problem is now as I'm looking at it, the size of these two things, they're very comparable. So it's like now the eye is fighting between this and this. But I love this so much that I'm going to make it work. Oh, see, I don't know. I'm going to play with it and make it work. I'm looking at this, the stand part. Let me zoom in a little bit more. As I look at the stand part here, I think that I might even trim around it a little bit more, but I think this would be so cute with some fibers, you know, some string tied around it in a bow. Ha ha ha. Maybe a white or a pink thread would work. Let me see. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw that I just started organizing my embellishments and supplies into color boxes. This is so helpful to find the things, since I design usually by color. I can also give this globe or even the card some dimension by using some foam tape. So not tape, foam dots, or they have foam tape too, but basically you stick it on, it's adhesive, and it just helps it pop up. For now, just go ahead and watch my process. I might speed some things up here and there and explain anything that I think you might need explaining or want explaining. I think I'm going to try and I'm gonna rip the edge instead of cutting it, that last edge. I'm not sure about this, but I'm just going to rip it and see what happens. Okay, let me get my corner rounder. I have a few different sizes. I am going with the larger size corner because it more so mimics the large rounded corner from this than that. That looks a little uneven, not matched. With these, I know sometimes people say they have trouble with them. I pretty much always punch from this way so I can see where the paper is. I'm not sure if that's how it's meant. I mean, there's a guide here, but I don't trust the guide. So I'm gonna try to even it out right there in the middle, and that works. So I got this. I'm not gonna do this one. I'm gonna leave this. I really like this edge. So that there, and just up a little bit more, making it so that it's even on all three of these sides. Let me go ahead and trim back inside here. FYI, these beautiful scissors are from Warm Crochet, W-A-R-M, Warm Crochet. They are absolutely gorgeous. They're super sharp. They cut really well, and according to the package, they are FAA approved, so that you can actually carry them on the plane. I wouldn't take these with me anywhere, but supposedly you can. I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow around here and see where that takes me. Let me see what this one looks like. With this, I have a few different options for what string I want to use to tie around the base of the globe, but I think I really like this gold, but it's a different color than this gold. I don't know if I care that much about that, but I want to do something else to let me take this off for a sec. So I want to do something to soften up this area before I figure out which string I want to tie around the globe. So this ripped edge softens it up some, and I'm going to use some pop dots to raise the globe, but I still want a little bit more separation between this darker background and this busier background and the globe, which is kind of my focal point. So I can use some mulberry paper, and I would just like rip the edge of that. So that will be really pretty. You can maybe something like that, where I can still see the background, but it doesn't like stand out a tremendous amount. So that would be nice. I love using mulberry paper. It has this most beautiful texture. So this is my stash of mulberry paper. I got it many years ago from Hobby Lobby. It comes in different colors. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. So I have some white that I could use. I have some pink that I could use. Let me just rip off a piece and see. Oh, I love that texture. Ooh, that's pretty. I feel like it maybe hides the background a little bit too much, but maybe that is what I need. So maybe that, or I could use some vellum. So this is just a really light pink vellum. So that would be nice. It softens up the color, but I want something with more texture, so I'm not going to use vellum. The other thing I could do is maybe use a doily. I don't have to use this, but I'm still loving doilies, so I will stick it under there. And then, let's see, I still want something to kind of matte this in the background. I am tearing the edge just because I like, as you've already seen, this torn, softer edge. So I've settled on having this mulberry paper placed at the corner right here. And what that's going to do is kind of matte this globe so that it stands out. When it's like this, it doesn't really stand out as much against the background. So this softens it up. It's still there, but now the globe has a chance to stand out a little bit more. This bold contrast between the blue and the white is really calling me, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go with that there. I'm sure you noticed this white line here. That is not a design feature. It's not really on purpose. I just didn't print all the way to the edge. I didn't print borderless, so I am going to just trim this with some ribbon, and that'll give it some more texture. So I have a few different options. This blue I don't think I'm going to use because it just stands out too much. The white pom-poms I love. The only thing is it kind of just disappears, which may be what I want because I don't necessarily want it to be a design feature. The pink, this could be really pretty. I just want to make sure that I'm getting all of the adhesive on the actual paper and not have any hanging off that can get stuck on something else later on. And ooh, it peeled up. Oops, it peeled up the doily. Breathe, don't panic. It's all good. It's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added some foam tape to the back, and I actually sliced the squares, the foam squares, in half to make them half as thick because it was just sticking up a little bit too high, and I didn't want that much dimension. So I sliced it. I put probably an excessive amount of squares on here and just kind of cut them up. Now what I'm going to do is add some more glue to seal the ends of the thread. Just kind of twisting it a bit so I can give it back its shape. I had thought of fraying this to make it kind of fluff out, but I just didn't feel like it needed that extra detail. And then I'm just gonna glue. I'm gonna add quite a bit of glue to the back, just to make sure it's sealed and doesn't try to come loose someday. But I am going to tie this doily in. So I'm going to add this little slice of doily, either up here, I think right here would be nice. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to try using glue back here instead. Just so that I can really spread it around inside these little tiny lines of the doily. What happens is after a while, because I can never get in there, those pieces start to break off, you know, because I don't laminate anything, and it starts looking a bit too shabby. So I figure if I add glue and spread it all around, maybe that will help. Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm just gonna do it. I don't really like that. Now that I have it glued on, you can't. Maybe I just have to wait until it dries, but it's like I can't really see it. I think I'm gonna put maybe some more mulberry paper. I'm putting a little strip of this same white mulberry paper to kind of tie that in and cover up that doily that I really didn't like that much right there. I think I'm going to take the rest of the pink trim from the same bottom sheet. I still don't love that. Oh, but I can't. I don't like it. I don't like. I think it was the glue. Maybe having the glue so such a saturation of glue with the liquid glue. Maybe that's why the other one kind of became almost transparent or translucent. So I'm gonna go back to my good old Prima glue stick, and I'm just gonna put this right up here in the corner to tie that doily in. That's gonna go there. Since I sliced this in half, I need adhesive on the back now. If you don't slice it in half, then you don't need to add adhesive. It has adhesive on both sides. Like this is a top layer you peel off, and then it's adhesive down there. I don't know what it is. There's something about this piece that I'm not really in love with, but it's okay. Sometimes it has to grow on me. So I think I'm gonna leave this. Be done with it. And go ahead and snip these off and glue them. I was going to add kind of a decorative strip sort of on the edge there. I think that would be just a nice little touch to add to the back, but then I decided to go ahead and just make it a pocket. These are so beautiful. My tendency is to want to add some extra something to it, and maybe I will, but the beautiful thing about the Planner Society is that it is so beautiful. You don't have to add a thing. It's just fine on its own. I really want to do that. No. If I put the blue strip there, then it'll compete too much with this. So even though I don't love, maybe I can make it white. Make some pom-poms.